Hey there, my name is Megan Smythe. I'm a sales copywriter and consultant for purpose-driven entrepreneurs.
Hi, my name is Sarah Hopkinson and I am a content and copywriter who specialises in working with podcasters, helping them to remarket their podcast content.
Hi, my name is Rachel Johnson. I am a copywriter in the travel and adventure space.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Ryder, and the industries that I like to focus on are self-development, mental health, and food and drink. Mental health for me is very important because I've had a history of social anxiety, and I'm very open about trying to break stigmas down about that and to help other people talk about issues that they might not always feel comfortable doing so, but it also helps to lead the conversation forward as well. Food and drink, because I'm a big food and drinks nerd, and self-development is something I'm always interested in and something that I will always move forward with as well. My business is called Stoic Athenium, and that combines my very niche interest in copywriting and philosophy together. Philosophy has had a profound and game-changing effect on how I see the world, particularly from a mental health context. Stoicism was the catalyst for that, and that's where the Stoic aspect of the business comes from. And Athenium was a space in the ancient world where creative people and philosophers generally came together to debate ideas as well. So combining that together was a very important thing for me to get across.
I work with mission-driven entrepreneurs and founders. The niche itself is something that took a long time for me to arrive at, but one thing I learned at the Accelerator was that it's okay to niche in ways outside of just industry. Originally, I tried niche as a copywriter for coaches, and that didn't feel 100% aligned because I wanted to work with people outside of the coaching space as well. And so I ended up niching in a more values-driven way. So my clients come from all different types of industries. I work on all different types of projects. What they all have in common is they're all either industry disrupting brands, they're like trailblazing entrepreneurs. They have a big vision of creating a positive impact in the world. And those are the people that I really love to work with, and they come from all sorts of different backgrounds and niches. Honestly, I have to say I love this wider, broader approach to niching, and it's more about the attitude than a specific demographic that I'm serving.
One thing I love about copywriting is being my own boss and finding clients who line up with my values and are just as excited as me to make the world a better place. I'm a creative at heart. I've been a musician. I've been writing my whole life. Never thought I could make a living as a writer, but here I am, because I do what I want. That was a podcast plug. I love traveling, and I love going for extended periods of time so I can really get into the space where I'm traveling. So I had never been able to take a fall trip because I've been a teacher for my whole career. And so when I took this year to focus on freelancing and writing, I told myself and everyone around me that I was going to take a big fall trip in the fall, because that's when you would take a fall trip, right? I did some climbing in Kentucky. I went to New York to visit family, and I went to California and Hawaii for 2 weeks and didn't do a ton of work. I did my client work while I was there, but I didn't do any prospecting or pitching because I was just having a good time. And it was 100% worth it. I'm looking forward to another trip, probably in the spring, again, when I couldn't go for a long-term trip. Because in the summers, I like to be in Chicago. Chicago is a beautiful city, and when I was a teacher, I could only take my really long, extensive trips in the summer because that's when I had the time to do it, which I was very grateful for. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of my traveling and adventuring in the fall and the spring.
My day-to-day work is remarketing podcast episodes into different kinds of written content. In the podcasting industry as a whole, there's a lot of focus on creating new episodes and new content, But there's not a lot of help out there to allow podcasters to extract the most value possible from the content that they've already created, which is full of insights but might just be getting shelved because it's not the latest episode. So what I do, which works particularly well with educational or how-to informative podcasts, is to go through their archives and look for themes that might have occurred across multiple episodes, and to condense these themes into different kinds of written content. This could be something like shorter written content such as an email series or a series of blog posts, but my personal favorite product is to create a short ebook or mini guide for a podcast which showcases their message, helps them to celebrate their success, and is a great introduction to the podcast for new listeners.
Pricing, that old chestnut.
Pricing. Being part of the accelerator helped me realize what my worth is and what my value is. So the pricing module was really helpful in helping me understand the value I bring to my clients, and the work that I do and how much I do and all the hours I put in is worth a lot. I am an incredibly thorough researcher when it comes to writing copy. I spend almost more time researching than writing. And that's because if I have all that research and that insight and I've immersed myself, it helps me write really good copy.
I have 3 packages that I offer to my clients. The smallest package is turning podcast content into something like an email series or blog posts. And that starts from $650. My mini guide prices start from just under $1,900. And my ebook sort of top tier price starts from $5,000. I got to those price points by calculating the time that I put into producing the work, and also thinking about how much value that it could offer to the podcaster and the potential that they have to grow their podcast with the work that I've created for them.
The biggest lesson that I've learned is that it's just about focusing on the projects, not about charging by the word. It's about learning how to have that profitability that you can have out of a project and sticking to your guns when a client can't afford it. It's good to beta test things. So when I was doing my workshop, when I first developed it, I just started to practice around different pricing points to see what I thought it would be worth before I launched it completely. Now I price the cost-effective version of the workshop at $1,350 and the full workshop at $2,500. That is a great thing for me, because a couple of years ago I probably would have been a bit nervous about trying to say, oh, it's this fixed price. No, that's it. This is what I charge, and you just have to be able to walk away from things. But of course, there's always exceptions. If you're first starting out in copywriting, then if you're trying to learn how to do it, then you can charge by the hour if necessary. But that is the biggest takeaway that I've learned from pricing, is having a fixed price in mind and not trying to do a DIY thing necessarily. You are the specialist of what you do, and clients will always have to recognize that. Know your worth, know what you charge, and just keep moving forward with your business.
Pricing, the $1 million question. Obviously, there's a million different ways you can use to come up with your packages and pricing. One key thing I got out of the Copywriter Accelerator program was coming up with those packages so that I don't have to start from scratch every time I'm working with a new client. And I spent weeks, months, possibly, like perfecting this package and coming up with something that really works for me and my clients. The main way that I work with clients these days is through a VIP week. So it's similar to a VIP day, but I give myself a little bit extra time, and I also want to make sure I'm handing over my best possible work to the client as opposed to just what I get done in 8 hours. Revisions are also included in that. A VIP week can be either for a sales page or an email sequence. So launch sequence, a welcome series, a webinar, show up sequence, anything like that. I work on a lot of launch-based projects with course creators and coaches. So typically it's a sales page or some type of email funnel. The other way that I work with clients is launch consulting projects, which are a bit more custom because every launch and business is different, but that's typically a 2 to 3 month consulting container. And that doesn't include any done for you copy work. So both the VIP week and the launch consulting individually are $3,000 US. It took me a long time to arrive at that pricing, and it possibly could change in the future, but right now that's where I'm comfortable. So it's $3,000 essentially for a sales page or email sequence, and it's $3,000 just for the consulting. So if they, need done for you copy on top of the consulting, that's an additional charge. And the way that I arrived at that pricing was through a lot of trial and error, a lot of pain and hard-earned experience. I will say that having, a community of other copywriters that you can check those prices with and, bounce ideas back and forth, like, is this too much? Is this not enough? Is so, so helpful. Before I did the accelerator program, I was in a very different place in my business. I didn't have a community of copywriters I could go to. I was charging hourly rates. So I was essentially writing entire sales pages for what probably turned out to be like $300. So obviously $3,000 is a huge jump from that, but I do feel that it's really reflective of the value that I create, and I'm never worried, is the client gonna make their money back? I'm really confident that they're gonna get a good ROI, and it's a rate that I feel good about.